Warm, friendly hellos. Welcome to the July 8th allocator governance call taking place for the Filecoin Plus program. Let's share the slides and take a look what we have on this week's agenda. All right, so at a very high level, we have 5 points, actually six if you count the community and my typo on the slide, but you get it on the five. First, we're going to check in on a program highlight. Great work being done by Ramo, which is the Web3 mine pathway, getting some really interesting data. So wanted to say thank you to them and highlight that for the community. The second is an update on Boost. It's being sunset, so share some guides with you on how to use Curio, answer any questions you may have, and just make sure you're tracking that migration. Third point is if you've submitted a DataCap refresh, we're going to highlight which ones are currently waiting for root key holder, where those applications stand, or if you have any questions about a decision, make sure that you have a forum for questions, discussions, and flags. Next, we'll move into applications. Lots of progress on these applications. Holy smokes, 116 organizations have applied. So lots of updates on the finding. We have a few next steps for some of you to make sure that everything moves quickly, and then just check in on what happens. And then last, we have a new proposal for an enterprise on-ramp. We talked about this on the last call, but just wanted to keep it on the agenda one more time. That way everyone has a chance to see this over the course of a month. As always, there'll be plenty of time at the end of the call for any things that you want to discuss, and we'll move forward on that. As always, feel free to use chat and stick a hand up, and we'll get to you and help any questions you may have. All right, so with that, just general program. This call is taking place on July 8th. I didn't see anything on the agenda, but as always, if you want to make sure that an item gets put on the agenda, feel free to put this in the GitHub repo and we'll include it. Next call takes place on 22 July. Wow, the year is half over. And if you follow this calendar link, it will auto-populate for you to pop up and ask any questions you have. As far as a quick check-in on metrics, we had 16 new clients come on board in the last 2 weeks. Of those 16 and existing clients that we're serving, 159 petabytes went out. Whew, big 2 weeks. Thank you for that. And we're seeing a change in allocator numbers. You might see that there's 81 now, when before in the past it was around 70s. It's because as we start to onboard these new applications, we're going to get some new allocators. So it'll be forward to looking some of these new pathways get set up. Looking forward to the things that you do. All right. Hey, Ramo, speaking of things that you do, really good job, you guys. So to kind of brief you, Cornell has a metaphysicist who's just creating all sorts of data on a regular basis, as you can imagine. So Ramo has made a partnership with them, and they're onboarding that data from that Cornell study onto the Filecoin network so that it's workable and a great use case. So just wanted to highlight this. I don't see anyone from Ramo on the call, but if you're watching this video, which would just make me warm and sunshine to think of, just wanted to say thanks, good job, and props. And again, thanks for flagging this, and this is really neat. All right. Migrating from Boost to Curio. So heads up, right now Boost is deprecated. Like so long. It's going out. You'll see linked in this slide deck, and I'll post this in the allocator channel as well. There is a beautiful doc that was created that will kind of talk about the migration issues. So the big thing is the development has stopped in Boost completely, and users are encouraged to migrate to the Curio. Right now, Curio is standing up the teams, the support structure. So consider this like early as we start to move through this. But the guide that you see linked here will help you for any technical questions you may have. Feel free to post these in the allocator channel if you have any specific questions, that we can get some subject matter experts to help. But the big thing is this will have a lot of improved tooling support, and it's got active development with Curio versus like the sunsetted Boost, which had stopped development on it. So just a friendly plug. If you are using Boost, you'll notice that it's sunset. Check out this guide for how to get Curio set up. I'll pause and I'll check to see if there's any questions on that or anything anybody wants to dig into. Nothing. All right. Hey. Let's just go. DataCap Refresh. Let me see who's on the line if this gets anybody. So no new applications received since yesterday and today. So nothing with the Watchdog. I saw two come in. Those have had Watchdog reviews, and they're currently on Amin's plate for like a review. So if you are IPFS Force or ZC Phil, you should see that progress shortly. Of the applications that came in the last 2 weeks, I looked, none of them were rejected. Few were throttled with some really significant input on what you could do to improve that. But the other ones are now awaiting root key holder. Once that's signed, you'll see that push out this week. If you have any technical issues, anything going on, please let us know. But this is where we stand on the DataCap refresh as it is. I'd like to now point out kind of for your awareness, DataCap Refresh going forward in 2025. So a big learning in 2024 was that each individual pathway had their own diligence, had their own bookkeeping, had their own standards. And when we did the refresh, we tried to make sure that we were measuring apples to apples. What we saw was some pathways applied to be automatic allocators, but they did all manual pathway diligence. So it made it really hard to kind of say, were you meeting the standards? Well, with this new application, that won't apply. So this is just kind of an early warning that when you are starting in these applications and when this data cap refresh is going out, we are going to be looking very closely. Did you do the tranche schedule? Did you do the bookkeeping? Did you do the retrievals? And everything that was stated out in the application will need to be adhered. If it's not, the refresh will be cut much faster. So rather than having multiple segues, you will be throttled. You'll be told what the issue is for research to move forward. And if not, it will not get that refresh. So this is just kind of a plug that the data cap refresh will be more strict with the new program that's set up. If you have questions, listing those is a great way to do it. Looking at those, and we have a POC to kind of reach out. I'll pause and see if anybody has any thoughts or questions or just wants to check in on the data cap refresh process as they go. All right, all right. Well, hey, let's take a look at the applications. We can always come back. Hey, soft friendly plug. July 11th is this Friday. So if you are an allocator on this call or looking at the slides, or I don't know how you would even hear me if you're looking at the slides, but hey, every allocator, please, 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 by July 11th, you should be resubmitting your application. You should have a new application on file. If you don't, or if you have any questions, now is the time, because Friday we'll talk about it, what happens if we have not received an application. But if you're looking to join the program, this period is still open. It goes through Friday. And this is how you would do it. We've gone through this in extensive detail on the last calls. Feel free to refer back to that. But I would like to call out this next section for some folks that may be on the line or in chat. Official organizational domain. The reason why we're asking this is that if we get an application from Kevin or Galen at filecoinfoundation.com, we know that that individual is linked to that organization. It's a good way that we can connect it. If we get an application from Galen at Gmail, there's really not a lot of ways that we can say, okay, Galen is employed at the foundation and he's speaking on behalf as we give the data cap, because a lot of this is reputational standards. How do we know that the application comes from that organization? An easy way to get that is having your domain email address. So if you filed your KYC with a Gmail, a QQ, an Outlook, a Yahoo, maybe an AOL if we're just feeling nostalgic, you would have got an email from us saying, please, we need to have some record of it. Thank you to those that have written back with that. You'll see an email back from me saying, thank you, I've updated it, but there's still quite a few that have not. So this list I pulled this morning, these are the organizations that have been in the program or new to the program that we've seen this application come through. So if you're on this list, and I'll put this in the allocator channel as well, we have no record of your organizational affiliation. So what you can do is you can write back, hey, I filed my application with a Gmail. Here's my company email. If you've been an allocator before previously, I'll ask for your token code. So if I've worked with you in the past, you would have got a token code from me to verify your affiliation. That's another way. What we're looking to avoid is situations where we've had in the past where organizations have filed on behalf of organizations and then the individual has nothing to do with them. So the folks on this list, again, we're looking for some kind of way to connect your affiliation, either the token code from the last round, a business email that we verify it, or really descriptive. Maybe you're an individual, you don't have that. But again, we're looking for this tie-in on it. What happens next? All right. So after July 11th, which is this Friday, starting next week, any allocator that had not reapplied into the program will start being sunset. We don't have a date we're going to kick this off. The big priority right now is to get the onboarders, new allocators onboarded, and then start removing. But again, any allocators that did not refile will have their data cap sunset and they'll be encouraged to reapply. Anybody else, if you're not selected, you will be receiving an email from me with just pretty much thank you. Here were the issues that we've identified. we'd encourage you to come back and reapply later. So you'll see an email come through from me. It will be philplus@phil.org, as well as a comment left in the PR. That way there's a record if anything you want to refer to later. All DataCap going forward will then start to use the new applications that you filed. So if you submitted public open data as a manual pathway with a 75% Spark retrieval, when the refresh goes through, that's what they're going to be looking for. Did you have a bookkeeping plan? Did it follow the tranche schedule? What were the SPs? What was the duplications? Everything that you spelled out in the application. So these are what we're looking for as far as next steps. So we'll be closing these out and going forward. I will pause. I see a lot of traffic in the chat. Galen's, maybe would it be okay if I tapped you and kind of summarize some of the chat as we go forward or
Sure.
anything we talked about?
Yes. We're side channeling a little bit. There was a question in the chat around individuals who are individuals in the community and don't have a company domain email address, and what should they do? And in that situation, I said a couple of things. One, almost all of the people that either are currently applying, and let's actually just focus on that. It doesn't matter retroactively. But in this current round, the people that are applying, they listed, the organization that they are a part of, and they listed the relationship to the ecosystem, and they listed the type of verification that they're going to do. And in those situations, these are not people saying, I'm an individual and I just, have a vested interest in this. We have maybe one or two people that applies to that we know that have been here. Most of these people apply on behalf of an organization. They list that organization. It's either a large data client, or it's a ecosystem partner, or it's a DAO, and then they claim, we are a member of this organization, but then they only provide a personal email address. There's no website history of that organization. And as Curio was saying, there's just not high confidence and reputation when those things aren't verified. And the point of this KYC process is to know in this case, like we're saying KYC is client, but it's to know who these allocators are. They're being put in a trusted, privileged position in the Filecoin ecosystem. They're being given an amount of data cap and power. It also creates downstream slowdowns and more work. The more allocators that we add, the more work there is, the more of a slowdown there is for the high performant ones, because we end up doing troubleshooting or managing these compliance reviews for the ones that we're not providing that level of reputation in the ecosystem. So it's a reasonable expectation to say, if you claim to be, a storage provider, a event sponsor, a member of one of these organizations, that you would have a official domain email address. And it is not a unreasonable barrier to expect that these teams are providing that. So yes, there is a slowdown as we are asking for those email addresses. Additionally, there was a question around, there seemed to be delays in getting approved because of KYC. And pushing back on that, we've had, we're now at, I think, 116 applications, right? I think the most that we had in round 5, I think, was 120 or 130 approximately. And that was across the entire round 5 thing. So we're already almost at, more applications than we've ever had. It takes a lot of time to go through them. There's a number of duplicates that we can easily quickly see are either tests or duplicates and reject. But then there's kind of a prioritization as to how we're going through these. And if the delay is happening at the KYC process, that is because someone will complete the KYC in Xife, but they will use a personal email address. And then when we go to review it, we're seeing that personal email address. So we're pushing back. We're saying, you need to provide us some more information. That is manual. That is a manual backend. I mean, we're manually asking for emails. We're, updating this in the back end. We're tracking all these comms. It's a huge manual lift for K-Rate to do that. And we said in the application that you needed to apply with your professional business email. And people didn't do that. So it is creating a slowdown. But also, if you are experiencing a delay because you are not completing the Xife, again, we've had only a couple of technical issues with Xife where we've gotten comms where someone is running into an error. And we've worked with Xife to try and unblock those. But at this time, we're not going to change the process and override and not require or do KYC under a different format. And the delays that we're experiencing are because we're working through these in kind of the priority that they are being assessed. So that's a somewhat of recap and also additional information in the chat.
That's awesome. Thank you. And then I was writing to chat. Bei Chen, it looks like you had a question. If you put in chat which organization you're with, I'll be happy to take a look just to kind of summarize that he was saying that some KYC was experienced delays in getting approved. Let me know. I don't think that there's any delays with Xife that we haven't troubleshooted, but we flagged on the last call. Just send a DM to MPG and myself. She's amazing at like helping get that technical troubleshooting. I'll happily help update any Airtable records, but just send me a Slack or you can just do it right here in chat. And if you let me know the org, I'll be happy to look and see what's going on and get you all set up. And then there was also a question about enterprise and individuals. So why do we need the email address for individuals and how do we prove it? Yeah, you're right. There's quite a few allocators that have been in the program quite successfully that have, used their personal. They haven't been an organization. Caro's a great example. She's been around for a while. She's just Caro. That's the pathway. High reputation, high pullback, but she doesn't have an organization. To Galen's point, if you say, hey, my name's Kevin and I'm with the Kevin Foundation, we are going to be looking for like, well, what's the Kevin Foundation? What are you doing with that? So that's the flag. So if you say you're with one of these organizations, we just need to link it either by the domain email or send me the token code if you're an existing allocator in the past. Everybody else will be just trying to look for it. And the reason why is because there is a lot of trust and reputational standing that's afforded to allocators. You're given this large, valuable amount of data cap to help funnel the network. And we'd like to know who that data cap is going to and have a verification that you are who you represent yourself to be. And so that's what we're looking for. And that's why we're asking for it versus individual organization. It's just linking, are you who you say you are? So to the last point, there are several applications that have started to get emails from me that are not being onboarded. I wanted to pull some of the recent ones that I've sent and kind of highlight what you'll see. So if your application to onboard as an allocator was not approved, here are some of the reasons why. Number one is that we didn't have any reputation. So we had a few from individuals or organizations, and we couldn't find any web presence. We had no domain email address. And frankly, it looked like the company was stood up just for this application. So if we can't find any confirmation that you are making significant contributions to the ecosystem, we can't verify your reputation to give you this at face trust. So those were encouraged to build up standing in the network and come back once you've had that standing. Some didn't complete KYC, KYB. We got an application, we would go check Xife, it was empty, or it was an issue. So they've all been contacted, letting them know, hey, we still don't see this. Also, when you would check the apply dashboard, you should see KYC completed. If you don't see that KYC completed, well, we can't push your application forward. So those are being rejected as well. We had quite a few duplications. So an organization might have filed three manual pathways, all for the same organization. No, you get the one manual pathway, one automated pathway. And so some of those duplications were sent out. And then missing documentation. I was looking at some of these and we'll just skip some of the fields or they weren't filled out. So those will be left out. And inconsistent details like, hey, you said it's a different client type, but when we're reading this, it's very clearly this is a manual pathway setup, but you just want to have two or three. So again, you'll see an email come through. You'll see this come back and I'll leave a comment in the PR, pretty much probably just a copy paste of the email, and the PR is there for public record in case you want to come back. So again, you'll see this email come back. I'll pause and see if anybody on the line or chat has any questions, got blocked on Xife, wants to know where their standing is, has a question on email. The floor is completely yours. All right, all right, all right. We talked about this one on the last call, so just consider this a double tap. There is a new proposal recommending you guys check it out. It is number, 387. Let's just see, 384. And this proposal is for the enterprise on ramp. So if you were doing large amounts of data cap and you have been chewing through this is what we're looking to kind of set up. So it has a very detailed, structured process. This is very high trust for pathways that are demonstrating that they are making that deal making. So again, if this applies to you, we've talked about this in the last two calls. This is Filecoin is a paid service team who needs prioritized onboarding, needs a little bit more from this. There is a lengthy list of requirements. Essentially, like you need to have the tax docs, the licenses. If you don't have on-chain deal pricing, really articulating how are you working with this clients, how are this data being verified. So we're not just onboarding, just nothing. So big steps to walk through. And once you do that for this implementation roadmap, you'll see this spelled out in number 384. So this has been open for about 2 weeks. We have a couple questions from Web3Mine and Ramo. Those are great, but take a look if you're interested in this. This is the pathway for you for large paid deal enterprise onboarding. Just a reminder, this is open. And so with that, we'll pass it back. Any questions on DataCap Refresh, Curio, the web services, Ramo, the floor, anything? We'll happily look it in.
Hello, I'd like to say something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay, this is Bing Zhou. I'm from the IPFSTT. I'm very glad to be here. So we have submitted our application for V6, round 6. We know that is a huge workload for you and have an annual allocator review for even more than 70 allocators. So we like to express our sincere gratitude for your support to Filecoin and File Plus program. And most importantly, thank you for your proposal and support for allocator and the client and also SPs, including the tolerance and standing what you have shown. So we are honored to be part of the Filecoin ecosystem and to work together with the governance team to help more SPs and clients find more valuable data sets and also keep Filecoin attractive and vibrant. To summarize the past year of what we did, first of all, we have conducted a strict customer due diligence. We've also provided technical support to SPs and helped other allocators during our time as an allocator. So we take data quality very seriously. We always require ourselves, our client, and also SP to follow the File Plus rules, and also including the data replica copies, retrieval rates, and also geographic distribution. So since 2022, we joined a File Plus program. Our community friend, like Decent, and also the File Plus member and Sally Cumming, and they have conducted random and also extensive download of our data. It is showing that our data is authentic and consistent with the disclosed information. So in this recent round of audit, so some of our SPs still have data quality issues, and even though they see them isolated or the rare case, but it is still indeed our responsibility. So we would like to express our sincere gratitude to the government team for your meticulous guidance and also give us the opportunity to correct some issues. So in the next round of distribution, we will take the following 5 improvement. First one, we will require all service provider to support Spark and maintain a high retrieval rate and reject the SP if they don't support Spark. And we will ensure that the customers are responsible for the accuracy of the data, conduct at least the 2-sector downloads and confirmation during the LDN allocation process and immediate support, suspend the support if we found any data inconsistency. We also ensure the number of replicas reach to 5 or above, so ensuring all clients meet the minimum redundancy threshold. And we also require customer to provide the standard index file in accordance with the latest requirement. Also with special thanks to Filecoin Watchdog for providing the index standard. So in this round, smart contract pilots will be launched for outstanding clients. So we have already started improvement in the next distribution. So I would like to thank you for support and the trust, and let's work together to build the Filecoin ecosystem. Thank you all. Thanks.
Hey now, what a great thing to hear. And while you were talking, I pulled up. So I think that you've already seen your PR merge for your round 6. So looking forward to great things next year. Thanks for coming. Looking forward to getting this data on the network. And Ehum, I saw your comment in chat about your address. I won't say the email out loud, but I've updated our tracker with that. So yes, it's good to go. Thank you. I've got that on file. Sweet. Well, I was here to answer any questions. Caro, Eric, IPFSTT, I pulled up all of your applications just to see if there's any blocks or anything. You guys are all set. Looks like it's just moving through the process. If you haven't seen that onboarded, you will. So thanks for that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for asking those questions. All right. Well, hey, we got 30 minutes. I'll do this. I'll say if there's anything else, please, the floor is yours. Otherwise, what I might do in a moment is I'll just pause the recording, hang out in case anybody joins late, but I'll make one last call. If there's anything top of mind, floor is yours, anything and everything. Mike, I see your question. I'll be very honest. There's a couple mics. So if you link me what pathway you're on, I'll take a look. Meta era. All right. Mike, what I'll do is I'll hang back with you and I'll pull back meta era. Let me do a quick check and see if it's anything quick or if we need to have a discussion. Mike, I'm actually waiting on an email from you. I don't have a meta era verification with that. So what I'll do is I'll follow up. Maybe you and I hang out on the line and we'll just one-on-one take a look and get you all set up. All right, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording. Just hang out here. Just troubleshoot some things for anybody that comes in. Just want to say thank you again for coming to this first call. It's a friendly reminder the next call takes place at 0200 UTC coming up in a few hours. All right. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Friendly hellos. Just 4 of us. We could do the slides where I talk to you, or I can share the slides. You can take a look and we could take this time for anything on your mind. I guess what I'm saying is I'm all yours. How would you guys like to spend this time?
Maybe we can talk about our application for Origin, and then
Yes. What number is it? Let me pull it up and I'll see what's going on.
912.
And if you guys did not pass the KYC,
What? I didn't pass the KYC, as in like, but it was submitted for government review, and I didn't. Why did I not pass the KYC?
we pull it up and let's find out what's going on.
Because Origin's KYC is my details.
First, and then Alex, I see you in the text in the chat. I'll come back to you next, but we find the Zyfe. Give me just a minute. I'm just looking through my email. Zyfe will get me in. Marshall, I see your text in chat too. I'll get Kenneth, Alex, then I'll check on you and get you guys all set. Let's see what's going on. Still logging into Zyfe.
Thank you.
Kenneth, in the interest of time, can you send me a Zoom direct message? That way it doesn't go into the public. But if you send me a Zoom DM, what's the email that you linked? Zyfe doesn't connect the two. It takes a few minutes to find it. So you could speed me up, DM me your email.
Right. Okay, give me a moment.
And Alex, if you could respond in your thread with your issue number, Alex Young, I'll pull yours up too while we get Kenneth.
What did I... Yeah, it has been a while.
Alex, I see here is 915. I get Kenneth's email.
Oh, I think I used this email.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah, any more information did I need to send over to you?
Maybe. Let me check. Right now, I'm going to help Kenneth first since we started on him. Then I'll pull yours up and then I'll take a look at Mark.
Okay,
Sound good?
thank you.
Right. Of course. Kenneth, I got your. All right. Let me find you in. I'm in the Zyfe now checking.
Thank you.
All right. Kenneth, here's what's going on. Essentially, I've updated the KYC. That wasn't it. That was just the first note that I came across. It looks like this was rejected because Origin was removed in round 5. And then in this round, as a manual allocator, you're only committing to a single replica for the public open data. So when we took that, they were given a series of like, how does this compare to other manuals? And that was one of the lowest for the other manual pathways. It's just one replica. And that's why this was not approved. So
I
I'll be
see.
putting that in email, but is that anything that you could improve if you wanted to come back and do this without being at the very bottom?
Right, we definitely can increase the replica, but why I put one is because I wanted to be conservative. But I guess we previously when Origin was operating, they actually used more than one replica. Yeah.
I see. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a note on my whiteboard. This way I can come to it first thing in the morning. Here's what you should do. After the call, log into the pull request for the Origin application
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, per governance call on July 8th, spoke to Kevin. We are going to increase the replicas from 1 to 2.
Okay.
And with that, we hope that this will add more credence to our organization application, however you want to say it. Then in the morning,
Okay.
I'll come back. I'll add those 2 replicas onto your score, and that should be enough to bump you back into it.
Okay. Thank you
Sound
very
good?
much.
Yeah, of
Sounds
course.
good.
Thanks for flagging that for me. I'd rather work with you and get you all set up than have you guys slow down on that. All right. So you have action. Go to the PR, leave that comment, tag me in it. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to find that and I'm going to bump it up. We just
Yeah,
tag this number here. And it saved me some time looking. What was the number for your application?
912.
912. Sweet. All right. You should be all set. You should see my comment, and then that will update the PR. Once I get the governance team to look at that, you should be all set. All right. Alex, let's take a look at what's going on, bud. All right. Let me pull up 915 and dive. Alex, I'm pulling you up now. A minute to kind of familiarize myself.
Okay.
Question for you, Alex. Did you have an on-chain address set up in
Yeah,
your application? It says coming, but nothing's in it.
yeah, because we are still decide from my senior, so I put it to be confirmed.
Looking at all your answers, and I'll give you just one big summary rather than split. You're also using a custom allocation for your tranche schedule in your application based off a scoring system. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not from familiarity right now. Alex, did you ever email me back? I have a Gmail on file with you. Did you ever send me your organization?
I don't think I received any email. Yeah, I don't think I received any email.
Alex, I don't see anything here under affiliation to other pathways. But while we're here on the line, what's your affiliation with Stephen Lee?
Uh, what do you mean?
Do you have any connection to Stephen Lee, the other allocator or storage provider in the program?
No, basically.
You said basically, though. What? Kind of tease that out a little bit. What do you mean basically?
Because we have I mean collaboration, but then we are separate entity.
Okay, but there is a
Yeah.
collaboration between the two entities, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that. We'll list that in some of these. All right, here's my advice, Alex. Are you ready to copy? I'll give you a few points, and I'll have
Mm,
you take action. All right, so
okay.
same action as Kenneth, but I can't say this is going to tip the score. So I just want to kind of expectation this for you off the bat. So here's my advice. Come back to the PR 915, and I'd like you to hit these points. Point number one is one, I will send an email to philplus@phil.org, and I'll write that down for you so you have it with my business email. What we're trying to do is link you to the EOMA. I might be mispronouncing that, sorry, the network that you're claiming to represent. The second
Okay.
thing is you have a very, so there's 116 applications, and you're one of two with a custom tranche schedule. And the custom tranche schedule that you have, it doesn't say like initial. So if I am a client and I come to you for 200 petabytes, it doesn't say how much am I going to get as a new client. It's all based around refresh. So what does your new client look like on that? If it's 200 petabytes over the course of a year, that's a lot of data cap. So how does the first
Mm,
person get it? And it talks a lot about the refresh, but not the first person. And I might be overlooking it. So this would be just like a 0.3. So number three would be to list out what the retrieval rates are. So when you're using the tooling, what will you hold the storage providers and the clients to when you give that data cap for a retrieval rate?
okay.
And then point number four is clearly articulate what your relationship to IPFS force is. And do you share storage providers? Do you share clients? Do you share tech? Do you share Web3 development? But that should be public and open. Since you checked that box, you didn't just have a point like, hey, I have this relationship, we do this collaboration, whatever you want to spell out. But it should clearly delineate these are two separate organizations. They're not just pooling the data cap. So you should definitely spell that out in point number four.
Understand.
That's 9:15. And what I'll do tomorrow is I'll take a look, I'll give you any feedback on it, and I'll verify that I got the email, that I could put that on the governance team's radar and have them take a second look. Again, though, Origin was easy to raise because it was just one thing. There's quite a few with this, so we kind of spelled it out now. I'm happy to talk more and kind of help you. So let me know in the issue. Let me know what's going on. I'm going to pre-apologize though. My Slack is really deep right now. So if you message me on Slack, it might be a little bit of a turnaround, but you can do that or tag me in the issue. We can help.
Okay. Thank you,
We,
Kevin.
hey, thanks for coming, Alex. Happy to get you set. All right. And Marshall. All right, let me pull you up, Marshall, and get my familiarity with this. Marshall, I'm just reading through this, kind of getting familiarity. Marshall, your application is still in like the final steps of processing. So if that's what you were looking for as an update, yeah, right now, no flags, KYC passed, good confirmation on your tranche schedule, your retrieval, your bookkeeping repos set up, your address is received, and everything's verified on that. So Marshall, no action for you right now. You're just kind of standing by, letting the process work. The only thing that I will ask that I'm just noticing, so apologize. Yes, there is one thing. Marshall, it looks like you have a Gmail. address that was signed up. So let me put this in chat. I think these comms went out. Send a message to this address with your org-wide email. And the only reason we're asking for that email is just to link the individual to the company. I think we always tell that story about the individual in round 2, round 3, said they were from Sony. And so this is just a way that we can make sure you're from that. If you are an individual, it's a little bit different. Marshall, I'm going to check. 90% you were here for a while. Let me do one more thing for you. Look. Yeah, Marshall, you're going to have a business email. And the reason for that is your pathway is an enterprise pathway. So what you're applying for is to go out, get these deals, and bring them back to the Filecoin network. If you're doing that kind of level of business development, the expectation is that you have some sort of business outgoing plan. And so a business email linked to your domain, the website, the web presence, the clients can come and do that enterprise deal with you is going to be a requirement. So in the chat, you'll see that Phil Plus at phil.org. Send an email. Hey, this is my org-wide email, and it should be at Marshall or whatever the organization is. And then that way we can link it in. So take that action. You get you all set. And I see. Sounds good, Marshall. See what you got here for me.
I made the comment. That's
So great. All right. Thanks for doing that. I got it, Kenneth. I put that in there. We'll clear up tomorrow. So
Thank you.
get you all set. Thanks for coming. All right. Summarizing. So, Kenneth, you're set in the morning. I'll follow up with the governance team, have them take a look and sign off on the 2 replicas. Marshall, just send me an email from your org-wide and just letting us know how you're doing those enterprise deals. And then, Alex, the 4 things that we spelled out, it's going to be confirmation with IPFS Force is number 4. Number 3 is what's a tranche schedule for new people as they come through it. Number 2 is like, what is the org email and how are you connected to it? And so those will be the big 4 that we put in.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you
Updated the
again.
slides. Is there anything that I can get for you guys while you're on the call? Anything blockers, things I can run down? Happy to help.
Okay.
Not
So
at the
Kelvin,
moment.
just want to confirm, double confirm again. So I just will need to reply via email from your email, right? Regarding the 4 things.
You ideally you put the 4 things. Let me write this down. I put it in the chat here because I know that sometimes talking it gets lost. Let me write it out in the text right here for you.
Thanks.
Your question on taking a few days. My strong advice is that this is going to close on Friday. The sooner that you could have it closed before Friday, it gives us time to come back, like what we're doing right now. So if you wait until the last minute, it shuts the door on a lot of like back and forth. So I'll leave it up to you. Giving you lots of notes, Alex. So thanks for waiting. Hopefully this helps.
No problem. Appreciate it.
All right, Alex, you'll notice a very long thread from me with some notes on where to look at. I expanded. I started with 4, but as I looked at it more, I'm just going to recommend you hit those 7 points. So just saying them out. Confirm the email. If you're doing enterprise data, there should be an email address for the EOMA network. Number 2, set up that on-chain address. Like have those linked. If you're doing enterprise deals, that should be easy. Get that all set up with your on-chain, and then your on-chain for DC allocations. Number 3 is give a little bit more metrics in the KPIs. So I come to you as a client. I say, hey, I want you to hold my data. You tell me they're going to give me 4 replicas. It's spread out. What KPIs are you going to hold me to? And those same KPIs, the governance team will hold you to for the refresh. So like, what does the retrieval look like? Pretty much everything that you kind of spelled out. In your application, it's like a lot of like talking about it, but not a lot of numbers. So the more numbers, the more specifics, the better. Marshall, you were set,
Okay.
unless I'm forgetting anything. Jumping back into you, Marshall, here. Alex, take a look at that list. If you have any questions, let me know. Marshall, I'm looking at yours, trying to give you as specific as I can so you don't have to come back again. All right. So if anyone's looking at this video bored out of their mind, can't believe you're watching, but thank you. And then Marshall, I just typed in text for you. So I've got your enterprise application. To kind of summarize, what we're looking at is what was your previous background in the program in round 5. And so what I'm doing is I pulled up your round 5. You got a match, you got a double and 2 matches. So you're keeping within the program. And then to your question token code. So when you onboarded in round 5 last year, around February of 2014, I sent you an email just in case we needed to verify that who I'm talking to on this call is the same person that was here a year and a half ago with the org. So if you search for Phil Plus, you'll see an email. Sounds good. And if you get stuck, please just put in your application like, I can't find it, but it's going to be a roadblock because if we can't have your org email to link you to the org, and I can't have you verify your token code that says you're the same person as last year, it's going to really gum up the works. We have to dig into it a lot. So find that token code. If not, leave a comment for me in your issue and hit me a Slack message. All right. Well, thanks again. Hope this was helpful. Alex, I'll stand by to hear back from you. Marshall, I'll stand by to get that email or the token code from you. And Kenneth, I'll be getting back to you, my flag 912 for the governance test.
Thank you. See you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Alex, Marshall, Kenneth, cheers. Thanks, everyone.